right, here we go. What is going on, y'all? Got a lot of people in here early. We got Sean, we got Roberts, we got A, we got Ghost Rider, aka our special guest DB. We got Only Farmer, we got Apocalypse Gaming. I need you guys to I need you guys to wish Apocalypse a fast and speedy recovery. He is going into surgery today. Okay, good luck, my friend. I hope all goes well. I hope you're back with us real quickly. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to bring DB in. Let me just ask him to mute his stream yet. All right, there we go. All right, so if I can figure out my buttons on this mixer. DB.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey. Chat, let me know if you can hear him, please.
Can you hear me?
He should be able to. Well, let's jump into it. I'm sure somebody's going to yell at me if they can't. So for those of you who haven't met him yet, DB is often in chat. He is Ghost Rider in chat here. He is a member of 89 VC, one of the 4 2489 teams that have made it to the round of 16. Yeah, you heard me right. 4. I think I said four times now. Teams have made it to the round of 16. That's absolutely amazing. DB is a 2-time Osiris League champion, Season 1 and Season 3 in 1052 with OV. I had the pleasure of being on the Season 3 team with him. He is an absolute monster. We are trying to find his account in VC now. I think I probably passed it. But DB, welcome.
Might be rank 2. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just made Foe jealous the other day because I was changing to my training skin, and he's like, DB, WTF? And I'm like, it's the Season 1 skin from Osiris League. And it's one he doesn't have, and they collect them all, so
oh yeah,
I can't get that one.
Yep, never get that one. You got the Season 3 one as well, the same one I do.
Yeah, I changed to that one, but the one, Season 1 one seems to be more unique with the way it's kind of structured, kind of squared off and stuff with the little fancy wave on the top.
Well, in Season 1, it was only OV that got it, right? Whereas Season 2, it was, what was it, 646? Who did we face in the grand finals?
I can't remember. It was like it was like a 1300 something kingdom, I think, in Season 3. We played them once, and we lost, and then we played them again, and we won in the final.
Well, the grand finals we played 3 times, right?
Oh, sorry, that was 630. Yeah, V630.
Yeah, they got this same skin for winning their realm.
Yep.
So yeah, there's 60, well, maybe 70 with backups. 60 players with this skin, but that Season 1 skin, there's only 35 people with that skin, and you're one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you my chords if you want. It's 641 513 on my kingdom.
640.
641 513 on 2489. I changed to that skin too, just for the heck of it.
So yeah, I mean, we got a bona fide celebrity here. So, you've been in 7 seasons now, right? This is your 7th season.
Yeah, I've done every season. Some people might, if they used to listen to John Wick stream matches. I did a few streams with him before he, called it quits on the game. But yeah, I've been there ever since the beginning. In the beginning, I wasn't much of a whale. Then I became more of a whale. So I started out as, a really big support player and moved through all the different kind of roles you can have in an arc match. And then I kind of moved back when I came to 2489 because I'm not the strongest player. In OV, I was one of the top 5 or 6 or whatever. But coming to 2489, yeah, it's not me anymore.
Yeah, more that support open field role.
for sure.
which is fun too, right? Just in war, there, anybody got a garrison for this flag? It's like, okay, how long can I stay quiet before somebody else is gonna volunteer? Oh, but
I told them when I came here, I'll play any role. I've already won, so it's not the biggest thing to me. I still love the competition in the game, but I've already won, so I'm not going to be as panicked if like I'm coming in as a substitute or whatever for somebody else.
Sure, and I mean that's the right attitude to have in any kingdom, right? I'll do whatever the kingdom needs. I'll do whatever the alliance needs. We win together, we lose together.
Yeah.
So let's go back, right? So season 1, and I remember season 1 very clearly. I was in 1039 with the White Tigers, and they guaranteed victory. So everyone in that kingdom put all their coins on White Tigers. You guys absolutely trounced them. I lost everything.
I actually slightly remember that match, but yeah, we trounced them.
I mean, it was embarrassing. They came back and there was apology after apology after apology in Lost Kingdom chat. So yeah, it was quite the eye opener. And then season 2, I'm like, well, these guys are damn good. I'm gonna keep betting on them. And then HKL came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, see, those first 3 seasons were all about strategy. Like, yeah, the new commanders came out, but it was how do you execute the strategy. But then once we transitioned to 4, equipment started to overtake strategy. Strategy is still important, and teamwork's still important, but equipment could make up for a lot of deficits in that regard.
Well, and I feel like they for lack of a better term, they kind of dumbed it down in season 4, right? You can teleport with your troops on the map.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I totally hated that. I think that's what, we still were competitive in OV for 4 and 5, but Song knocked us out in both cases, I think. But yeah, it was like that was a very unique part of the strategy, to be able to align yourself to teleport at the proper time.
Yep,
instead of just being able to do something you can't do at any other facet of the game.
Yep, I often tell the story where I remember one of the first matches I was in with you guys. John Wick called me on Discord. We went through the entire strategy, the specific times that he needed my troops wherever they needed to be on the field, and now make sure you kill your troops by this time so they get back and you can use your teleport. Well, when it came time for me to teleport, I'm like, I still have troops on the field. God damn it, Lambo, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Okay, it's not going to happen again. But
I mean, like I said, it takes a lot of, you gotta plan in advance. You gotta look at the time. You gotta look at where you are and know, what do I gotta do to get into buildings or kill my troops so that I can teleport? Because even when your dead troops were dead, you couldn't teleport until they got home.
Exactly. I mean, that was a huge part of that strategy then too. So I did not particularly care for the change to teleport when your troops were in the field, but
yeah, if they weren't going to implement it in the game entirely, then it just makes no sense to have a feature that you can't do anywhere else in the game. I would love to be able to teleport in KVK when my troops die and move somewhere else, like, when you send your troops out a long way.
Yep.
You think about now when you're on random teleport after the pass opening, and then they build a flag which teleports you away, and if your troops are out on the field, they got to go all the way home to the starting zone wherever your city is before you can do anything. 2 KVK ago, this happened to Foe. He was random TP'd, all his troops died, and he got ported out by a flag finishing, and I think he was stuck for 20 minutes, and he couldn't do anything because he had to wait for all his troops to come back from being dead.
Oh, good God.
He was so mad. It's like, yeah, you can't do anything about it because it's not a feature of the game except in Ark of Osiris.
Next time, just kick him out of the Alliance and imprison him.
Yeah, right? Well, actually, that's a strategy kingdoms use against us now, is at the beginning of a pass opening, the last 2 times I think they've imprisoned Baba. Like, they just don't want him random TPing somewhere, so they just imprison him before the pass opens.
Oh, that's slick. Now, we in our last 3 KVKs, we've kicked MF out of the Alliance and we've imprisoned him so that a flag building doesn't teleport him and he can stay in the middle of the action. But I didn't think of that. If they imprison him before the pass opens, he's shit out of luck for 15 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever that imprison is.
Yeah, somebody even did. I don't think it happened against 1960 because obviously nobody cared. But when we were fighting 474, 484, and 500 in that KVK, they imprisoned him a couple times.
And in
pass openings.
In KVKs like ours, when there's 20 kingdoms, 10 10 versus 10,
that's a lot of imprisons.
They could just imprison him 10 times in a row, right?
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
Holy crap! I'm gonna have to tell MF to bubble now before pass openings.
Yeah, you might have to. That's actually you might want to do. Can you still imprison a bubble?
I don't think you can you?
I think you can. It's just not. Why would you do it? You can.
Yeah, we'll have to try it. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, if
so
you
this
get imprisoned in the next KVK, sorry.
You can blame me because I'm casting it. Shit, we only got 29 people watching though, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
So this season has been an interesting one in Osiris League. Mm-hmm. I pulled some stats at the beginning for the first 2 rounds of the early group stages, and I think
I remember you doing that.
Only 3.6 something % of those matches were actually won by less than 10,000 points. It was absolutely ridiculous, and that was in all 4 rounds, right? Hammurabi, thank you for joining the Touchdown Club. Appreciate you, sir. So, and then even yesterday, watching these matches, Drago started casting one, and one of the teams no-showed. And then he started casting the 60 GT match at 15 UTC, and that team was not necessarily a no-show, but they didn't have a lot of players there. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, and I've already said what I think Lilith can do about this, but what do you think Lilith can do to encourage teams to show up and not have these lackluster performances like that?
Well, there needs to be less teams overall. 512 is just ridiculously too many. At most, maybe in the Horus realm, 64. But then in these newer realms, it's not even that many. And like in my realm of Bastet. But there's too many teams. And then if a team does no show, there's maybe one situation where I can understand it. If you're going up against 60 GT and you're in the middle of a KVK and it's like pass opening Kingsland, then I could see it. But other than that, like even the best teams could have that same situation I just brought up, and they still going to go in and they'll just make it up when they come out after 1 hour. So there's really not a very many excuses to to no show. Some of these teams I know migrated out, like in the Horus realm.
TR.
Like obviously TR has lost most of their players. Peak migrated out. So that's going to happen with those teams, unfortunately. They just gave up their chance to do anything, but yeah, they migrated out, so they won't show for the matches.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just think, one, it's a slap in the face to the teams you're playing because you're not giving them a hard fight and helping them prepare for future rounds. And 2, it's a slap in the face to the community and the game mode in general, right? So I have real issues. I mean, we could register every single Osiris League, and we would probably do, fairly well in those group stages.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I only got 25 players. Unless we can give 110% and have a chance, it's not something I'm willing to do. Not to mention, nobody here wants to take it that seriously. But
yeah, I mean, if you can get a top 32 registration, then you've got a pretty good chance of moving on. Unless get one of the teams that just got out of KVK or is low power but strong, like the 93 teams this season. A couple of those teams were not the number 1 seed, but they were clearly the best team in their bracket. Like 93P murdered OV, but going to OV is not nearly what they were. But 93T wasn't the strongest. But yeah, usually the top seed wins in most cases. I think there was only a few upsets here and there.
I don't remember any this season. I know last season there was, but I
mean, nobody expected. 93T wasn't the highest power, but they were the favorite. Some of those teams, I mean, is the 32 seeds that get the top 32 power.
Right. Like
most of those teams win, with the few exceptions of like the 93s and stuff.
So the fog, the new skills. What do you think of those changes?
I mean, it's unique. When I first saw all this, I'm thinking, for anybody that's played League of Legends, I'm like, oh, they're trying to do League of Legends. They're making Fog of War so you can't see what the enemy is doing. But really, when you can throw the thing down and once you learn how to work with it, like, it didn't really change anything to me. The main change is now it's not a spectator sport anymore at all. Like, the strategies are still the same. Like, you win the middle, you control the buildings. Like, there is maybe a sneak attack you can do with some of those skills. Maybe you can sneak around and steal their obelisk, but you're gonna do that one time. I mean, obviously, if it's a one and done, you win, but you're gonna do that one time, and then the enemy is gonna adjust to it. So I don't really feel like it made, like, if the goal was to make things more competitive for the teams, I don't really feel like it did, because the same good teams are still the same good teams.
Yeah, if you can execute your strategy and you can swarm with the rally, you're still gonna and dominate the middle, you're still gonna have success, right?
Yeah, like that master strategy skill is cool, and you can do some funky things with it, but it's kind of like the hidden tactics one, if you remember, I think when TR did it against Song or whatever in the middle, it was amazing, but they still lost the match. I mean, right. So master strategy can do some unique things, like you could sneak up and take somebody's obelisk or steal an arc, but is it going to win you the match? Probably not, if you're relying on that, if that's what you're banking on.
Yeah, and that the first one or the second one Plato casted, the blue teams took the arc from the middle, and the red team was nowhere to be found. So the blue team started escorting it back. Lo and behold, all the escorts were gone. It was just the arc carrier. Lo and behold, they dropped master strategy right next to the arc carrier. 20 seconds later, you got 30 marches taking the arc, swarming down an outpost, and done deal. But that team ended up losing too. So, I mean, 6 skill points is a lot to gamble on that.
No, it's a huge amount to gamble, because if it doesn't work, then you're going to lose the middle for sure on whatever the next arc is, because they're going to have all their points.
Yeah, and they will plan for it the next time, right?
Yep. For sure.
So the one change that they said that they didn't implement is that at one point in time they had said they were going to introduce non-playable characters in Arc of Osiris.
Yeah, that was the other part of League of Legends that I was waiting for, is they're going to give you some kind of something to kill that gives you a buff, which is literally like in League of Legends, you can like kill a dragon with your team and you get a buff that makes you much stronger. So that was like, well, I was like, oh, they're taking stuff from League of Legends. But yeah, they didn't implement that one yet.
Thank God. Thank God. That seems stupid to me. So let's get into the meat of this, right? The schedule. Top 16. Well, let's go through the other realms first before we touch on yours.
Oh no, I'm tracking all the realms. I keep abreast of every.
And guys, DB is much more knowledgeable in Arc of Osiris than I have ever claimed. I mean, he knows more in his brain than I could even hope to learn in mine. So he knows all these teams, right? So when he tells me to bet on somebody, 90% of the time it's a winning bet.
Yeah, you can take that 10% for that one I gave you like 2 weeks ago, where they didn't show up. And they were late. That YWN team or whatever. Yeah.
So what are we looking at here in Horus Realm?
I mean, the main thing is, and I obviously was on Facebook today. People know my name on Facebook, but like the main thing is that they say this draw is random, and that obviously the first place teams are going to play a second place team in this draw, but they say everything else is random. But somehow you come on here and every team that's from the same kingdom is on the same side of the draw. So in this first round, if you go to the right side, all 393 teams on the right side. And it'll be the same as we go through the other rounds with all the teams. Every realm has like 2 teams except the last one. But yeah, they say that's random, but if you add all that up and you calculate it out, a mathematician, like, I got a better chance to go win Powerball right now than that to happen. And they even told me on the Martel support, which I put on Facebook, they said, the draw is random. Trust us. We wouldn't do this manually. And it's not possible. They definitely, and I know it's because 60 GT and 60 MX, 2 seasons ago, they fought in the final, and they didn't play because they didn't need to. And so they definitely have done something where it's not random. It's manually placed. And the problem with manual placement is there's human factors like bias and favoritism come into play. And they can say they're not doing that, but they should just be honest about the system. So on that side, GV77 is there, and you'll see there's one team that's not showed up yet on the left. If you go over to the left again,
Yep,
AO77, yeah, AO77 is the other 2377 team. They're going to be on there. They just haven't popped in yet. Apparently, the R5 has to get onto the alliance and click something, and then the team shows up. It wasn't like they randomly did some kind of release of this. It literally just required the R5 to hit a button, and then they showed up on the board today. After that timer was done at what was that, 12 UTC today, I think.
Yeah, we can see 60 GT, 60 MX on the right side.
Yeah, and then 60 MX and GT are on the other side. So you'll have 2 teams from 2377 on the left, and you'll have 2 teams from 1960 on the right on that one. And it's very possible that those teams could be the final 4. Like, I don't know about AO77 beating, like, SJ32 or whatever. Like, SJ32 had a pretty good match against WIB. They almost beat them. But GV77, I would give them the favorite on the left. We played them, I think, right before Osiris League. They were the winners of season 3 or Realm 3 last season, and they got moved up.
So here's the big one, right? I mean, we got 89 CG, 89 VC, 89 NR, 89 N.
Yeah, 89 hashtag N, yeah.
25% of this bracket is from 2489, and they're all on the left side.
And I mean, I knew that was going to happen. Like, I was saying it from the beginning, and people were like, and that's why just being honest about it would, like, because people's hopes were dashed. Like, they thought there was hope that maybe we could have a team on the other side, and maybe we could get more teams to the top 4. But as soon as this showed up, it's like, no, like, we can get 2 if we keep winning.
Yeah, I will read you guys exactly what DB sent me at 7:20 p.m. Central Standard Time yesterday. So that's 20 minutes after reset. It says 89 NR, 89 CG, 89 VC, 89 N on one side of the map. Yeah. Smash Squad will be on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and this is where I am speculating. I can't. I mean, who knows? But I'm just speculating there's something there with Smash Squad. Because there's something there with Chisgul being able to stream matches too. But yeah, they're on the other side of the map. And also something that's interesting is, like, all the highest power teams, so CG, VC, we're like over 5 billion. DVL on the left side, as well as 88VH, who's the runner-up from last season. They're not showing up yet, but they will be on the left side. They're all over 4 billion power. And on the other side, no one's even close to Smash Squad. They are the highest power team. I mean, Master Yoda obviously takes up a lot of that. Master Yoda, but Justin takes up a lot of that with his 1.6. But they are the highest teams over there, and there's nobody's even close. Like, yeah, DBL 4.2, and they're gonna face 88VH, which is like 4.3. And then our NR and N teams are very small because those are like our 70, 80 million power guys in those teams.
So tinfoil hat time. Let's do a poll here. No, that's not the poll, Lambo. There's the poll. Osiris League, is it rigged or not? And I mean, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. We got 489 teams over here, right? Then we got 3.1 billion. Okay, not bad. 3.2. This is 4.2. And you said these other guys are right around 4?
Yeah, I mean, our smaller ones are like 2.7, 2.9. Like, I don't know if I'd go as far as rigged, but it's definitely not random. That's all I want them to admit, like in their system, saying it's not random. We will no longer allow teams from the same kingdom to go to the finals. And I mean, that goes towards what you're saying, Fish, in the comments. Like, yes, you guys with MX were made sure that you weren't able to play in the finals against each other. And I feel like that's something they put into practice, but they're just not saying it. They're saying it's random, and it's not. Like, I obviously, it can be total speculation on the Smash Squad thing. And even if they get to the finals, like, maybe we beat them. I don't know.
So Fish says it feels a bit like complaining, but only if it affects the person. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Last season was exactly the same.
I didn't complain last season. I wasn't in the OV law. We lost.
Oh, you guys were out before the 32, right? Or real close
we
to
made
it.
to the 32 and we lost. We won the 32 bracket. And this is where they started this whole shuffle where they don't shuffle.
Right.
Because we played 5-5-6, which ironically was Foe and Baba. And we played them and we beat them the first time. And then they did the shuffle and we played them again right after that and we lost. So that's when we were out. So last season was when they started that, and ironically that's one season after 60 GT and MX were in the final with each other.
Yeah, I remember that. Didn't you play them like 3 times in a row or 2 times in a row? You beat them like twice in a row, and then you got matched up with them again. And I remember saying to people, "Oh man, it's hard to beat a good team 3 times in a row."
No,
And
I mean, we were just
enough,
in the same group as them. So we played them and won, and then we played them and lost. We did play them again when we did that, what was that invitational thing?
Yep.
And we lost there, but that wasn't even that was players from all over the place. It wasn't even like our main team, and I think it was the same for them. Like, it was players from all over the place.
Everything in life is rigged, though. You make the best out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. The political system, you could name any number of things that is rigged, right? But at the same time, I agree. Let's just be honest about it. I mean, if they are intentionally putting all the teams from the same kingdom on one side of the bracket, I don't have a problem with that. Just be honest.
And they don't care, obviously, for the matches they're streaming. They don't care about the our realm or the fourth realm. So I don't really care that they don't care either. But they only care, obviously, about Anubis and Horus when it comes to streaming. And that's where another one, a randomization that didn't happen, I can go to. And that's if you go back to Horus, JST and 1V didn't get put on the same side as each other. And you could say that's random, but I think they would make sure that's not happening. Because if they get JST and 1V in the final, even with the 15-minute delay, people are still going to tune in to watch that one.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Because that's 2 former champions.
2 former champions, 2 really well-known teams.
Yeah, and I mean, there was speculation about JST's power because they lost the 93 before, but then they beat them, and there's speculation about 1V, but these Korean teams, they are different in the Osiris League than they are outside of the Osiris League. So I will not pick against somebody until they lose in the Osiris League.
They are different in KVK too.
Yeah, they're definitely different in KVK as well. I've got enough experience with fighting 1960. And Fish, if he's still in the chat, I still got enough of dealing with him and his open field Flavius as well.
Open field Flavius, oh boy.
He makes it work. I don't know, but I'm not using Flavius in open field, but he did.
And then Sobek Realm, I don't know any of these teams.
Oh, Sobek, there's 2 teams that are really high power, and they will be in the final. Like, I can tell you right now in Sobek, it is so the top team, the at W34, that's who got all the Eyes of Talent. They will probably be in the final. And then on the other side, 75 DC on the bottom right will be in the final with them. You can look at how they won their matches, and there's nobody came close to dominating as well as those teams did. And the powers aren't close for most of the way. So, I'll predict that.
Hey, these guys were close. They got 15 points.
Yeah, 15, sure. But yeah, I think that realm is all about just, overpowered because you got those commander limitations.
Yeah.
That's why it's 89 CG was huge with Arvix and whatnot last season, and they dominated. and were able to win in the last round, the fourth round.
So what's the key to beating a team like a OV, like a 60GT, like a JST, like a 2489?
Honestly, what I've said about like after like season 1, season 3 of OV, like now I honestly think the only thing that beats them is themselves. Like when they start falling apart and players start quitting, selling, that's what's now happened to OV. OV is no longer competitive.
Yep.
After you win a couple times, you lose the desire for it, and that's what happened. We lost some players after the first win with OV, and then we lost a bunch more after the third win. Like, eventually, you lose the desire. If KDK is not doing it for you, and it was just Arc, you start quitting, and your team starts dissolving, because in reality, like, there's no team that's just going to come out of nowhere and equal the equipment of 1V and GT. Like, you can try to put together a power team, and that's what we've done here in 2489, but we've still got so much time behind us when it comes to chemistry and coordination and organization, and we're still a global team, which gives us a huge issue when it comes to practicing and things like that we just can't, like 1V. I know 60GT, I think, is kind of global now, too. They're not just in one region. They have a lot in one region, but 1V is, Korean for like 90%, I still think.
Yeah, I remember when I first started in 1052, and we had all the Chinese players in one chat and all the English speakers in another chat. And after we lost to, 474 in the group stage, then they said, okay, everybody's going in one chat, and we're just going to have 2 or 3 people talk. So there's something to be said about being able to communicate with both lanes at the same time.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, like, we got all the players in from Blackjack in 2489, and that's why our team is good. Like, they are great. They beat 1V. Last season they beat them the first match in the final, and then 1V adapted and beat them the next 2. The season before that, they were like, I don't know, like 10 seconds away from capturing an arc that would have knocked 1V out, but they couldn't get it into the structure in time, so 1v1. These guys are crazy good strategists, and I'm not a strategist. I kind of just go, what do you need me to do? And I do it. But I see these guys practicing all the time, and that's a benefit of having a lot of players from the same region be able to play like at the same time.
Sure.
Like, we try to coordinate a practice, and we can get a practice in on Saturday maybe, and we can get a practice in, maybe 2 hours before an actual match. But if you're playing a tough match, that you don't want to do that because it's draining.
Yeah. I mean, we've had to move our Saturday podcast before because Apple was practicing.
Yep. And that's the best. I mean, Saturday's probably the main time we can get a practice in, but not always. But I even saw, I think I saw a bunch of the Korean guys today in Discord probably practicing the new commanders and testing them in Arc during the time I was at work.
I mean, that's, there's, what Allen Iverson said, Allen Iverson at one point, practice? I don't need those things in practice. But Arc is all about practice, right? I mean, you got to know where you're going to be, and you got to have faith that your teammates are going to be exactly where they're supposed to be in order to execute many of the plans.
Yeah, and you've got to practice because these new commanders come out,
Yep.
And they seem like the last couple of seasons, there's been a big commander coming out that changes things right at the playoffs or during the playoffs. This season, you've got 2 Cav commanders, and what is the strongest troop type in Arc Osiris for the most part? Cavalry. Why? Because it's fast. And so now you have 2 cavalry commanders, and I'm pretty sure you're going to start seeing a lot of them in the coming arcs of Osiris.
So let's go there too, right? Because I was looking back at our MGEs, and we rank all the MGEs, right? Top 15 slots are always distributed, so we keep track of that.
Same here.
These new cavalry commanders came out 2 MGE cycles ahead of where Dito came out after the infantry commanders were released. It's like they They do it on purpose because they know people who are in the top 32, the top 16, are going to drop a shit ton of money to get those commanders to use them in Arc.
For sure. I mean, season 5 was it? Yeah, season 5 was Nevsky and Bertrand, and obviously we've seen what Nevsky's been in all game modes.
Mm-hmm.
Season 6, I think. I can't remember who came out with season 6. Like, I don't think they came out like right at the playoffs. Like, obviously Joan was out well before. So I think it might have been Tariq Pakal that were just before the playoffs started. Tariq and Sargon. Yeah. But I mean, that's been an actual rally. Tariq Sargon's been a pretty important, or Tariq Pakal. But now it might change back to cavalry with Justinian and Woko Bing or whatever.
Yeah, we used Tariq Pakal and Tariq Sargon quite a bit in our KVK. I think there are teams that I see in some of these early group stages that are still doing it till it's Takeda. It's like, what are you guys smoking?
That might be all they have. Like,
this is true, but yeah. So, chat, you got any questions for DB? Fish, respect him a hell of a lot. Got a lot of comments in here. Thing is, the system is still fair to all kingdoms.
60 GT, so.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna take anything he says without. I mean, like, I understand where he's coming from when he says, it's still fair. The system is still fair that we can get 2 teams in the top. But it would just be nice to just tell us so that people's hopes aren't dashed when this happens.
Transparency.
That's kind of what happened with our teams. Like, teams like, maybe we can make it to the skin or at least the top 8 for the. For the top 8, I think you get a decoration or whatever it's called. But then they're like, oh, never mind. You're gonna have to face each other top 8.
Where does it tell us the rewards in here?
I think it's on the
shop.
Is it in the rules.
Oh, that maybe it rules.
Yeah, top 8, you get the little wreath thing, the avatar frame. That's what it is for 5 to 8.
I mean, that's pretty sexy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind that.
So, I mean, just say it, and then people will know, and there'll be no surprises when it happens. Like, we get it. We don't really want it either. But I mean, we just have strong teams. But like, if we had to fight 89 VC versus 89 CG in the final, I could tell you if we're not in the middle of KDK, which in this season we will be probably. But if we weren't, we would fight it out. We wouldn't do anything weird. We would definitely bring it, but it's not always going to be the case if you're from the same kingdom. So I understand the reasoning, but it needs to say it. It should just say it. Like, and then when I get told by them, like, oh, it's random. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, don't lie to me. Just ghost me next time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I thought I was tripping somebody on my post on Facebook. I saw a like from Charles Martel, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But it's just somebody who put that name on their account. It wasn't the actual support Charles Martel.
Random question: where is DB from? East Coast.
Well, I'm a military brat, so I've moved around. I'm on the East Coast, but I've been playing from all regions. Like, since I started, I've been playing from Europe, multiple locations, and then now I'm playing from the U.S. So I've played from multiple regions.
Yeah, be careful. DB's got keys to the nuclear briefcase. Don't piss him off.
Oh no, I'm retiring soon. No new briefcase for me.
Anyone else? Questions for DB?
Predictions on the winners, guys.
Yeah.
Gonna tell you it's
Go for it.
Where all my eyes of talent are on 60 GT, obviously. I'm what is this? Superstitious about betting on myself. I never did it when I was an OV either. So yeah, my eyes of talent went on 60 GT in their realm, and I think they're quite strong this year. In the first realm of Horus, 1v JST is probably the juiciest final.
Oops.
I do think JST and 1188 will probably play each other in the top 8, and I do think 1188 is quite strong, so that could be an interesting matchup. But I do think you'll see 1v in the final.
Yep, I got all my coins. Well, 322 coins on GT.
Yeah, GV77 is no slouch. They won season 3 Realm 3 last season, and we played them. They've got those huge accounts of like Lion and the other one in there. They got some really good players, really good built kingdom. So they might make it. 1E8 is also a very good team. Like there's members that were part of a team, and then they came to 52, and then they left us during a KVK. They went back to this 2098, and most of them are on the 1E8 team. So they're really good too, but I think GV77 is going to probably be too strong for them.
And is 89 CG, is that the blackjack players?
We're all over the place.
Oh, okay.
We got players spread out in all the different alliances. So
okay, so I may have screwed up. I put 8 coins on CG instead of VC, but
yeah, I'm just gonna say that I think some people might be upset with where they put their coins in the realm. Like they put it on a previous champion, but they didn't realize we had this huge migration, and we've got some really strong players in 89 VC. And I'll tell you that if you look at the 89N logo, that logo might be familiar to you as blackjack.
Yeah, blackjack, yep.
So, like they are they're low on power, but they're not low on skill. You can see if you look at our group stage, you can see the match between VC and 89N, and I'll tell you, we were not doing anything funky. You couldn't watch the match; it was a straight up match. And yeah, look at the score.
That's pretty close as far as matches go this season.
Yeah, that's the closest we've come. And now if they beat NR, which I don't know, I've never played NR. I know NR is quite strong, but if they beat them, then we gotta possibly play them again in the top 8 if we beat LOD there. So Woo. I don't like playing a team for a second time and a third time. The more you play them, the more they learn.
Yep.
These guys learn a lot, and we've practiced against them in a full practice. So this will be like you said, like when we did that whole, you played them 1 or 2 times. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. Well, this will be the case if we play them again. So
Brian Q is asking, did you go from 1052 to 2489, or were you at other kingdoms in between?
Nope, 52 from day one, and then I came to 2489. Thought I was going to retire, but some guys moved here, and Foe and some others pinged me and said, hey, come here. You can take a break from, doing leadership stuff and whatever, and just chill. And so that's why I came here. And for the most part, that's what I'm doing. I was trying to be, a secondary leader in 52 for a while with Slouty, and it was rough. So I just wanted to come here and just fight. And yeah, I'll still be active in vocal things like Facebook and KVK chat, but I'm not a leader of the kingdom. I'm not in the, this whole KVK mess we're having. I'm not in any of that discussion. I'm just like, what do we need to kill? Let's go kill it.
So Hammurabi, who is also a streamer, has a good question. How could Lilith make it more accessible for players who don't want to be hyper competitive, and maybe even make it more appealing to just watch?
Well, they tried it, but I just don't think their goal is in it. When they did the Invitational, they allowed anybody basically to play an account that had everything. And then they do it at the end with the with the grand finals. Once you are done, they just they give you everything. They give you access to all commanders, and you don't have any differences with equipment. Equipment doesn't count. But that's the only way. Like unless they do leagues, here's the lower league, here's a middle league, here's a higher league, then getting people to work up from the bottom to the top is very difficult.
Well, they kind of have that set up already, right? Because they have in the regular arc, they have, what is it, the gold and the silver?
Yeah, but I don't know who plays in the silver.
Nobody in my kingdom. We don't even have 3 active alliances.
Kingdom, I've never I think we had guys joining in 52 we had guys playing like one-man arcs in a gold league because there was, top 20 alliance. So I don't think you're gonna have, especially the way the kingdoms are shrinking, you're not gonna have active alliances below 20. So everybody's gonna be in the gold league.
That makes sense. Makes sense. What are your thoughts on WIB?
I don't know. I mean, they're obviously in a tough KVK situation right now, but they haven't looked like dominant in their Osiris. They almost lost to SJ32 the week before last, and then they started out a little slow against the last opponent. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, like, is Makote still playing there? I haven't watched their KVK much. And who else is still there? But I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to play MX as my first match in the top 16.
Who was, when we were in 52, who was the cavalry guy that left for 1846?
Cavalry guy.
Like dedicated cavalry. Every MGE that was cavalry is the only MGEs he ever played in.
I do not remember. Yeah, I don't remember that one.
He wasn't in OV. He was in the other alliance.
Yeah, I only know the one that was there after you left. That wasn't anything special, but that was Teach, and a lot of people know who that is. And he's bounced a lot of kingdoms, but he was only cavalry. But yeah, I don't remember who the only cavalry guy that was that went to 1846.
I forget the name. As soon as we're done, I'm sure I'll remember. But
probably.
Okay, so Seth is asking regarding your KVK. What are your thoughts on your KVK, the matchmaking?
Well, it's happening. We're actually going to fight, as far as I know. It's the last message I got. Like, there was a very hard push in pre-KVK. I don't know. Like, I know people want to say that 2v4 isn't fair, or whatever. But, like, I can't really say that because who's won? How many kingdoms out there can you name that have won a 2v4 situation in a KVK? Who are they? And you go, oh, we need to put ourselves up there with 1960. And how many have they won like that? Like I think it's a problem for Lilith to address with the kingdoms they put in there, because a lot of people are saying 2133 is very weak and they're a fake Imperium. I don't know this because when I look, they have stuff. They don't have kills. But if they're like Kingdom 1002, I don't know. But that's a problem that Lilith needs to address, because they're supposedly, when they put these KVKs together, they balance kills. It's not just about power, but when you look at this KVK, like 2133 is not close to the kills of these other kingdoms. And so like 2010's not as much. So they're not balancing as much as they said they were, because they said they did it not just based on just power alone, but it was deads and it was kills and some other stuff. Now, when they put 1188 and 1525 together, like, that was like, we never expected that. We were expecting to face those kingdoms in separate camps with other alliances with them, other kingdoms with them. But putting those two together, that puts them on equal footing with us. And people can say it doesn't, but like, if you combine their pre-KVK score and stuff, they didn't have crazy people training like Baba and Foe, but they actually outscored us and are outscoring us in pre-KVK with those two alliances.
In the activity-based stages.
Yeah. I mean, they outdid us. They would have outdone us in training, too, if you add that up. And they don't have anybody that went 200 million, because Baba went 200 million. Foe and BT Cyborg went 100 million. They don't have anybody like that. Like, yeah, our big whales train, but like, I trained 8 million because I can't use anything but training speed ups because I use them all versus 60 GT. And I mean, I'm getting them back, but I'm not going to be where I was versus 60 GT. So, and that's a lot of players in our kingdom. So we're not as high powered as we were. I think we're up to almost 16 bill power after the training stage now. When we started fighting 60 GT, I think we were like 18 billion power. And I think CG was like 15 billion. And we're not as many players and we're not as much power because we haven't been able to train that back in the time between KVKs.
And Apple was saying on the stream on Saturday, he was saying that 1484 is going to go clockwise against 2010, and 2489 is going to hit 2133. And the agreement is that you guys are not going to help each other until Kingsland opens.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that agreement's now off. like that we
Okay.
could go the other direction. I don't think we want to, but I don't think we want to get in a situation where like 484 loses entirely to 2010, 1979, 2341, gets locked, and then can't get into Kingsland, and we're going 3v1. So I don't know if we'll actually go that way unless there's like a reason to go that way. 484 looks like they're really trying to prove themselves. They're trying to catch 1188 in second place right now, and they are going crazy on these Marauder forts because they were nowhere near them, and I think now they're within 30 million power. Because, I mean, 484's lost their last 2 KVKs. They lost to us, and then they lost to Mimi. So, I mean, maybe there was some kind of I guess there was some kind of agreement potentially between 1525 and 484 to be together if they were in the KVK. But, like, when we got put in it too, like, they didn't want to face us again. I don't want to face them again.
And yeah, I mean, a testament to them doing forts is before my stream started, I was watching 12-inch, and he was running forts. And he never runs forts. All he does is chain bars.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
what's the score right now? Let me see. Yeah, they're down by 23 million to 1188 right now. And somebody posted 1188, like they had like 60 active rallies going at the same time. So they're catching that right now. So
Damn.
yeah, it's
crazy.
pretty crazy.
That's
and we're
crazy.
kind of like slacking in 2489 because we have a big lead. And we got a lot of players that like to push for honor in KVK, so they're not wasting any AP probably on forts.
Aloy says 960 is ruining the game. No one that fights 960 wants to fight them again. People quit the game instead of fighting them again.
Well, I will say, you know, we put up a good show against them, but we had some people who gave up before it started. And so we had to clear those people out of the kingdom, and we couldn't, with the way the alliances and the kingdoms are shrinking, we couldn't get that many players back. So we couldn't have 2 full alliances. We're like maybe 250 players now instead of 300 or something like that. Because now with 1254 dying and some of these other kingdoms dying like 307, like the Imperium strength is dropping significantly, and it's going to be near impossible to have 2 full alliances. I don't think you really can. Like, unless you build it up from the beginning, I don't think you can.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it on my channel before. I've said it elsewhere before. Losing a KVK is not the end of the world. If anything, it helps kingdoms grow, because you find out who is loyal to the alliance, who is loyal to the kingdom, who is going to stick through things, and who's going to fight when the chips are down, right? So it helps you find those players that are maybe just there to collect the foe and collect the Baba gold chests, and I'm sure there are others buying gold chests, but
yeah. And I mean, we could have done that last KVK. We could have done what 1188, whoever wanted to do this KVK, because there was very few people, maybe the super optimistic players, thought that we could beat 1960. But the realist and the pessimist, like myself, were like, yeah, we're not going to beat 1960. So we could have just said, you know what, we're not going to. And then all the other so in that KVK, all the other camps were like, yep, we're not fighting you guys, period. Like, there was no situation where the other camps were going to fight us whatsoever. So there was no other choice. Like,
yeah.
The only other choice would have been for 60 GT to go 1v5. And I don't think they could have won that. Maybe they could have won that with how they dispatched us, but that would have been the only other choice to make a KVK out of it. So we let the 2 fight the 2, and we fought each other, and when we were done, when we were spent, we said, okay, you win. There was nothing left to be done. People are like, you gave up too soon, it was only a couple of days of fighting. Like, if you watch that final day of streaming, I used 250 days of speed ups in like 6 hours. And that was like all my speed ups. Like, they were, like, I don't know what Leopard and Seawill said but they were all there. Like, there was nobody that wasn't there from 1916, and they were smacking us around.
So that kind of leads me into the next question. What do you think about piloting of accounts?
I don't like it. I've never done it. I know you say, obviously, everything you've ever done is valuable to you because it's been done just by you. I know, obviously, our big players do have that. Some of them are important figures in, real life, so they can't play all the time, so they have someone else that plays it. Like, I don't like it, but I mean, if it's going to be done, you got to do it, or you're going to just collapse. So, but I still haven't done it, and I will play as much as I can, and then I'll come back when I get some sleep and do it again. But
Sleep?
it definitely is a problem. Yeah, sleep.
Sleep in KVK? What the fuck is that?
It's like an hour here and an hour there.
Right.
Like, you try to find a downtime and sleep. Unfortunately, for 1960, there was
None.
Like people call me like the Eye of Sauron because I'm always watching everything on the KVK map. And yeah, it just so happens that I was sleeping when we lost the pass to a push by 60 GT. So I feel bad about that because I might have saw it coming, but I don't think if they hit us when they hit us and we couldn't get people online, it wouldn't have mattered.
So how do kingdoms combat that?
I mean, you either got to do it. You have to do it.
Sheer numbers like a 365?
Yeah, like obviously, like 365 and 93 are still they're a dying breed. They're the last two. There's not going to be another one like that unless it goes and cycles back up. But they are the last two that can have that many players. But they're both different because like 93 doesn't have players like Baba and Foe. They just have a lot of very dedicated players. They only have, someone told me they only have like 2 or 3 that are over 150 million. So they've got their 300th player at like, 70, 75 million power. So when you can have a 300th player that's that high, you can bring in a gazillion people if you get out of Imperium. 365 has some whales, so I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I mean 93 just does things differently, right? They all move in together. They all move in together. They clear the field. They burn the flag. They move on to the next one. I mean, it's like a tidal wave watching those guys move from one flag to the next.
Yeah, they do. They just are very so organized. Like, obviously, they pull all the stats of all the kingdoms. They probably know more about. If we were fighting in a KVK, they probably know more about my account than I do. Like in situations like that, like more about our alliance than we do, and that's what makes them as good as they are. Like for what they have, and they all if you're all bought in, then that's what you can accomplish as a kingdom, and they proved it time and time again. Like obviously everyone wants to see like 93 versus 960 or 365 versus 960. I'm pretty sure Seawill and Leopard have said like if it was just straight up 1v1, they couldn't win that. Like I don't know how you'll get. I don't know what the next organization of KVK will be because all 3 of those teams are waiting, are like going to register at some point. 365 registered.
No match found.
And they got no match found because, and we were worried that like what I think would happen to 1846, they would get moved into ours, and then they would have been put on our map, and then oh my god, I wonder what would have happened then. Because I wonder if 365 would have gone 1v5. I bet you they wouldn't have. They would have gone 2v4 again, and we would have been against them because we would have been the strongest enemy. But yeah, I don't know. They're just on a whole nother level. I don't know how they're going to compete in their next KVKs though, because if it's the 3 of them, then whoever has the 1 is going to be the winner. Like if it's 365 and they get allied with 960 instead of 93, then 93 is doomed. And then like it was 2 KVK ago. 960 getting pushed by 365, but then 93 came and then it was done.
I mean, if I had my wish, I want to see 1365 against 1093.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, they're the 2 biggest kingdoms. I think that'll be the end of the biggest kingdoms by the end of that KVK. I don't know if they'll be able to bring back to what they were after that's done. But yeah, I mean, I think 365 has significantly power advantage. I think 93 just posted their stats on their Discord if you've ever seen it. But I think 365 has got a substantial power edge there. But ironically, 1V was the highest powered kingdom in the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, 1030. They had as I understand it, they had whales go offline for 30 days.
Yep.
So that they could bring in players.
That's what somebody told me is some of their players went offline for 30 days to disappear and they were able to get their migration finished because they were trying to bring in all the PLA 664, I believe, and they had a lot of people waiting, and we kept bouncing Imperium with them, and that's what they did in order to get them all in.
I mean, I would literally have to uninstall this game from all my devices, and even then, I think I'd suffer withdrawal.
Oh yeah, like if I quit for 30 days, I wouldn't come back. Like,
right?
It's on something else. Like, I wouldn't come back. Like,
it's like alcoholism or quit smoking pot or something. Shit, I'm done for 30 days. I don't need this.
like, I know that stat in the game is flawed because I know there's been days I haven't logged in, and it says that you've logged in this many days in a row.
Yep.
And it doesn't reset. But like, I don't know how many out of the 1,756 consecutive login days, I don't know how many I've actually missed. It's not a lot.
Well,
I'm
I'm
at least logged in.
right there with you.
And I've been sick. I've had COVID, and I've been unable to get out of bed and stuff like that. But I still find time to log into Rise of Kingdoms.
Aloys says 93 and 960 will team up against us. Aloys is in 1365 and beat us. 960 won't take a loss in Diplo. It just won't happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if 960 teamed up with 365, would that be fair? No. So that's what I'm saying. All three of those kingdoms are in a KVK. Like, I don't think it's fair. Now, maybe you can get 34 in the next KVK with you guys. And maybe they can do something because we don't know if they're another team up there that we don't know if we're as good as. And we just went up against 60 GT and we lost. But maybe if you get 34 in that KVK, you can make it a little bit more balanced. If you can get the four of you, because they're not in KVK right now either. But I don't know what they're doing, what their plan is.
Imagine the lag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, is Lilith trying to do away with these big kingdoms because they can't do anything about the lag other than try and make kingdoms smaller? I mean, tinfoil hat time again, right?
Yeah, maybe. I've definitely experienced that lag in KVK, and there's really nothing you can do except wait it out. And obviously, you can't play the game on the phone after you played it on the PC because,
right.
Like, like when I transition to the PC, I'm like, oh my god, my troops! I don't lose nearly as much. I don't die nearly as much.
Yeah,
but when there's lag, you die.
Just have to wait it out, keep your fingers crossed, and buy that fate changer when it pops up.
I hadn't got a fate changer in so long because it's based on your power, right? So when you're really high power, you don't get one. But last KVK, I finally got one versus 960, and it was that last day when we were fading at the end, and they were rallying our fort. I was just throwing troops in that thing, and they were just killing it. They were hitting it with the dang Nevsky, William or Henry, sorry, because it was the Warriors Unbound, and that rally is ridiculous. And Seawill was rallying that thing, and it was just getting brutally destroyed. And yeah, I got a fate changer for the first time, and so I bought it, and I was like, oh, that's great. And about 10 minutes later, I'm like, those speed ups are gone.
Those are gone. Yeah, that was worth it. No, I hear you. I think the last one I got was in 1052.
Yeah, so like Seth said, like I think that has to probably be what happens. Like, I think if they can align it in order to make it something balanced, they got to get 34 to join the other three and do a KVK together. If they can get those four in there and then some other kingdoms, then you can be some kind of balanced. I don't know if it still is. Maybe the team with 960 still wins, but it would be something different than the two KVK ago where it was, it was Mimi and it was 1534. They weren't up to the task.
And that's why I like playing in a smaller kingdom, right? I say it all the time. I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, and that works for you because you play the game for a different reason than a lot of other people,
Yeah, I mean,
like if you play for the community and the friendships and stuff, it's easier in a small one because sometimes I don't like being in this kingdom because I know after every KVK we're losing a bunch of players because they're either gonna give up, they're done with the game, they're gonna move on to another kingdom, or they didn't meet the requirements of the kingdom. And so they've got to go. So there's a lot of churn in a kingdom like ours. There doesn't have to be as much churn in a small kingdom like yours.
The biggest complaint I hear from players who play in big Imperiums is that they got to delete troops after every KVK. I just met all my requirements. I got all my kills. I got all my deads. I went above and beyond with my kills. Went above and beyond with my deads. But yet they're still asking me to delete troops so they can get people in here who haven't even played with them before. They're basing their migration only on the statistics that they see on the screen and not on the player themselves.
Yep, and I think I brought this up in our Discord the other day, but I said people that watched Apo, which hopefully his surgery is going well if that's what he just went into, that watched that guy and talked to that guy. He's like the most positive dude that you'll ever find, like the most upbeat, chipper, positive guy. But the one thing that he's not about, and it's like, Apo, you need to delete some more troops. And that definitely brings him down. I don't like it either. I used to be this 200 power player, and I'm slowly chipping down my power. But it's the churn of these high Imperium kingdoms, and it's also the fact that the Imperium line is dropping, and also it's the KVK you will go into, because I don't think Warriors Unbound is a great KVK for dropping power, because it was all field fighting. And you can't do the fort thing. So I don't like Warriors Unbound for that reason. We'll see what happens with 1846 and 2605, but I don't think you're going to lose power like you do in Strife. And I think Siege of Orleans is probably just under that. But also, Siege of Orleans is kind of field too, because of all these auxiliary skills. You're just going to swarm everything, and it's going to blow up.
So what is your favorite KVK mode then?
Well, I mean, we played only HA and OV. We never played anything else. And I don't want to see Fog ever again as long as I live. So, I mean, I'll take it in Ark of Osiris. But, what did they say? You were joking about it in the podcast the other day. They smoothed the Fog or whatever in the thing. I don't want to see Fog ever again. And I know someone you, if you do HA, you grind the heck out of that first day or two to clear all that fog, and it is so rough. I don't want to do it. We did Strife, that first KVK that I came to this kingdom, and I really enjoyed Strife. Obviously, I used so many TPs in that kingdom, in that KVK, because we were fighting in multiple kingdoms all over the place. But Strife has definitely got to be the most brutal still, because you don't have any of these advantages. You don't get the HA Bastion buffs, and then now Siege of Orleans, you don't get the auxiliaries, and then Warriors Unbound, you don't get these weird combinations of Nevsky and Henry that you can use because of the thing. And then I think this stratagem one's going to be the same way, because you can literally do a counter rally instantly. And so things like that are going to be very hard to lose power in.
Okay, so that brings another topic up. Did you see the Rise of Kingdoms video that they put out today?
No, is that about the patch?
Okay, let's watch that. What do you guys say? Hopefully I don't get demonetized, but let's watch that. Let me bring up another screen. I did see
a small clip of the
multi-dispatch.
The multi-dispatch and the delay that it has. So I like that. It's still not good enough. I definitely like that they don't all pop out at the same time. But yeah, I didn't see the rest of it.
All right, let me just try and find the official channel here. Okay, so I am going to pause the music, and we'll play this through, everybody, if you haven't seen it yet. There we go.
Greetings, governors. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Agut.
What is up, governors? Johnny here. In this update video, we'll bring you news of key Lost Kingdom optimizations, new festive events, and a brand new system that will allow you to interact with your favorite commanders on a deeper level.
But before we dive into the details, please make sure that you have subscribed to our channel so you are always...
And, yeah, sorry guys. I'm still on my Rise of Kingdom screen. I need to switch to the desktop. So let's try this again. You're probably getting audio, but no video. Here we go.
Greetings, governors, welcome back to our channel. I'm Agus.
What is up, governors? Johnny here. In this update video, we'll bring you news of key Lost Kingdom optimizations, new festive events, and a brand new system that will allow you to interact with your favorite commanders on a deeper level.
But before we dive into the details, please make sure that you have subscribed to our channel so you're always in the loop with our latest ROK updates.
Let's get into it. Introducing the brand new trust system and commander stories. In the all-new trust system, governors now have tons of new dialogues with the following commanders, and more are on the way.
These commanders will show up in your city now. For example, you can now spend your day basking in the compliments of Osiris. By interacting with your commanders through dialogue or by gifting them the golden apples, you can increase their trust in you.
As you increase a commander's trust, you'll be able to unlock chapters of their biography and exclusive new dialogues. And once they've reached certain trust levels, you'll also be able to unlock a commander's exclusive animated emojis.
We have the Qixi Festival event series coming to celebrate the Chinese Valentine's Day. Participate in the Esmeralda's collections and Esmeralda's prayer to win city themes and other rewards.
You can also expect War of the Ruins, Race Against Time, and In Search of Wonders for the holiday events. Check your event calendar for the detailed schedule. To make your KVK experience better, we've improved the rewards of certain Crusader achievements. For Kingdoms in Season 2 to the Season of Conquest, we've added formation choice chests to the rewards of certain Crusader achievements. If you're in Season 3 or the Season of Conquest, you can get more Transmutation Stones as the rewards of certain Crusader achievements.
Now we're excited to unveil another new feature related to stats. Check out the Season Accolades leaderboard. In the last 3 days of the Lost Kingdom, you'll be able to view the healing, kill, and the death leaderboards. You can see the rank of individuals, alliances, and kingdoms.
For the Heart's Desire event, you can now change your chosen commanders at any time before the end of the event.
Some additions to your governor profile pages. You can now see the Champions of Olympia, Ark of Osiris, and Lost Kingdom accolades.
If one of your troops fights multiple battles without returning to your city, all battle reports for that troop will be grouped together under a single subheading in your inbox.
Moving on to combat optimizations. You will be able to dispatch multiple troops at once after this update. On the Troop Dispatch screen, check the multi-select box to select which of your saved troop templates you want to dispatch. Every march will be sent out with a very short interval, similar to manual dispatch.
In addition, we added garrison plans for your city's garrison commanders. If one of your default garrison commanders isn't in your city will switch to the next available garrison plan. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and let us know what you think about this update in the comment section below.
If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Okay. So that was it. They go through bloopers next and everything, but interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, still, I think it's going to be a huge problem, the multi-dispatch, if you're rallying a flag and MF is on one side, Lambo's on another side, Mavic's on another side. If that flag gets rallied, you can multi-dispatch and just swarm that rally down. You'll probably be able to swarm it down faster than someone can fill it.
Yeah, no, I mean, they come out with like a 1 second delay, it seems like, so I don't think that's enough to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not going to be as easy. It's not going to be as easy to bump like to hop in and hop out, like the super cheeseburgering thing.
Right,
you know,
right.
hopping out to get one Herald skill off with Pakal Herald. But it's enough to get out of your city and go hit somebody faster than you could manually taking your troops out.
That fish says animated emojis is amazing. Can't wait to throw them out after smashing people with Flavius.
Yeah, there he is. I told you. Like, we always knew when Fish was on the field because Flavius was there. And everybody in Discord was like, oh, there's Fish. Where's Flavius? I think he's just does that on purpose, so we'll target him. And then when we go near him, we just get destroyed by everybody else.
So, I mean, I got no issues with any of the other updates. They didn't go over the fog, though. That's kind of disappointing. I want to know what smooth fog is.
Smoothing the fog. Smooth as a baby's bottom, as you guys said, or whatever.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like everything else, it's kind of wait and see. Wait and see.
I
They
mean,
say
I
one
won't
thing
really
and they
do
do
much with
something
the trust
else.
system. Like, I might hit it occasionally, but it's probably going to be annoying to me to see all those things in my city moving around.
So I am.
Like, go get to your place. Stay,
Yeah.
stop moving.
I am more excited about the trust system now that I know it's a new animated emoji, and MF will still never have the cow sunglasses.
Okay, well then you're good. Yeah, okay, so it's not so bad then. If he can't get those, then he can't get those. I mean, John Wick loved that emoji too, back in the day in Osiris, if you remember, when he was running away with the Ark.
I miss John. Have you heard from him?
No, there was a really bad joke or thing someone said like last year when I first moved back to the East Coast that they posted in his Discord saying that he died in a car accident. And we're like, what? So we did some research. There was one guy that like lived in Italy, kind of actually knew who he was. We found him, like I talked to him. He's fine. I've actually got him, I think, on Facebook now. Like he's doing his thing. He's doing his profession before he played the game, and he's having a lot of fun with that. Like
Good.
He was not a spender in the game. Once the game became spending, he just wasn't going to ever keep up.
Well, and he's a young guy. He hit the peak of this game during COVID, and
Yeah, COVID, I mean, was the main draw, like why this game blew up so big is because of COVID, I think. I mean, it's still popular, but that was the really big push for when it came out at the right time. So, but yeah, like he was probably going to be done after season 3, to be honest, but then he got to play a different account that had all the toys, and he stayed, 4 and 5. And he made a lot of good videos, like, really breaking things down. But yeah, his once COVID kind of went away, his regular profession picked up, and he went back to doing that, and hasn't stopped.
yeah, I think as much as I hated it when I was in OV, I think that's what I miss the most is John Wick telling me what pairs to use.
Yeah. What pairs and what equipment I need to craft next? Like,
I mean,
why is this some better equipment lineup, and then give me this bot that just I put stuff in and it just tells me do this.
we got Seawill to watch now, but you got to read subtitles, so I can't focus on my job and listen out of the corner of my ear. Well, I think that's about it. Unless you had anything else, DB.
No, I think we talked about everything you possibly talk about right now. Osiris and KVK and the update.
I wish you guys the best of luck in Osiris League, and hope that you get that banner on the second alliance in your kingdom. That would be something.
Yeah, that's the big push now, is because we can't do anything that these other kingdoms haven't. But if we can have 2 different alliances in the same kingdom with a winning banner, that would be neat, and then we could try for a third next time.
That would be quite crazy. All right, if Chad has nothing else, we're gonna let DB go for the evening. I appreciate your time tonight. Please stay in touch.
Will do.
More than happy to have you back anytime you want.
All right, catch you later.
Thanks, bro.
Yep, bye.
So that was DB himself. If you guys don't know him, he's a beast, man. He is a absolute beast. That said, I need to grab something else to eat for the evening. My stomach is rumbling again, so we are going to call it a day. Thank you all for stopping in today. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed it.